Welcome to episode 192 of Girl Take the Lead, where each week we explore womanhood and leadership. And I'm your host, Yo Canny. Today, Chrissy Grigoropoulos, Esquire, Millennial, a self made millionaire, joins us to talk about her book, LadyShark: How to Become a Millionaire in Your 30s. Chrissy founded her own law firm while still in her 20s, and you will enjoy hearing the insights and wisdom from her journey. It's like listening to a girlfriend telling us what to do to get out of our own way. Topics we covered in the episode were Lady Shark book overview, step 1, being brave and having courage, step 5, confidence and what we wear, step 6, Lady Shark organization, then self-respect, and then step 8, what it means to be rich. Enjoy the listen, and here you go. Welcome, Chrissy. I'm so glad that you're here at Girl Take the Lead, and can't wait for our listeners and viewers too to see and hear about you and your book. So maybe we can start there, right?
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Yolanda.
Sure. So tell us about your book.
The book is How to Become a Millionaire in Your 30s. It's entitled Lady Shark. And it just really gives some support and some guidance for people that are looking for, a route and some positive energy on how to not be stuck in a rut or looking for people to step outside the box of their 9 to 5 and just gain some confidence. It's a self-help book. My advice isn't about an overnight success. It's really about embracing the process of personal growth, financial literacy, financial education, and kind of being more aware of what you have going on in your life currently, both financially, both for the future, what you want for yourself, and really what your family and yourself need out of life.
And what made you want to write the book?
So it's funny you ask. That's one of the questions that I'm asked often, and I feel like I always change the answer because there's so many different reasons for writing the book.
Mhm.
I always get asked questions as far as like, how do you do it? How do you have kids? How do you have your offices? How do you still have time to sleep and juggle everything? And where there's a will, there's a way. And I just wanted to show that being a woman isn't going to be a detriment. Being a mom is not going to be a detriment. And if you have that fire inside of you, a lady shark is someone that has the indomitable will to succeed, to be successful and independent and do what they have to do for them and their families. So I just wanted to spread the word that if I can do it, anyone can do it. And you just have to believe in yourself, even if it's something that seems unattainable. Just try to stay positive and fake it till you make it, but authentically.
What do you think keeps us from being lady sharks? Because I think about that and I think, oh, it sounds like kind of being really aggressive and, shark like. And yet I know that that isn't the only way for
Of
power and
course.
authority.
Well,
Yeah.
think of it the other way. Sharks have to keep moving or else they die. So you have to keep moving forward or else you die. So even if it's not so aggressive, I mean, I don't feel like every part of my day is aggressive. I think that assertive is a more
Mm.
better way of describing it. But I know that the cliches with sharks and killing and this and that. But unfortunately, our world, it is not the most beautiful place always, and you do have to be assertive and direct and sometimes aggressive in order to get what you want, but that doesn't mean that you can't try to get what you want out of life with a smile and with poise and pizzazz and things
Yeah.
of that nature. So it's really adapting to your surroundings, which sharks are required to do. They have crazy shark stories that get pet by humans and they don't bite humans and it's fine and they're
Yeah. Yeah.
loving, and and then there's other times that they have to do what they have to do. So I feel like Lady Shark is someone that has to do what they have to do and they will move forward. But in the book, I do talk about swimming with other sharks, being helpful, give good to the world, you'll get good. So I think that there's multiple facets of being a lady shark and really being successful and believing in yourself, even when you're insecure about starting something new.
And I think you talk in your book about like 8 steps to being a lady shark that maybe you can give
There's
us.
definitely
Like,
steps. So I'm actually going to grab one right now. I have one right here. So what I love about the book is that you don't have to read it cover to cover. I don't know. For me, it makes it very hard with my schedule and everything to read something from cover to cover. So you can literally go to the table of contents and step one is act like a lady shark. You can always skip to one of my favorite chapters are the building your treasure chest, which is one of the last steps. That it's actually step 8.
Mhm.
Time to budget. There's both sides to savings, from saving to investing. What types of side hustles? Opening, broadening the horizon. Everyone's like, well, what side business can I have? I have this 9 to 5, and I don't even know what I'm good at. And I talk about it all the time. You really want to find what do you like, because we work so much, and in order to meet societal norms and bills and financial norms and requirements that we've already established for ourselves and our families, have gain that requisite for us to be able to achieve every month. And you have to think of, what do you like? Are you a good meal prepper? Are you a great organizer? For me, I'm not a good organizer, but organizers get paid anywhere from like 150 to $300 per hour with no education, just sitting in your house and organizing clothes and making everything look beautiful and organized. That is an amazing skill set that you don't need a capital investment for. Charcuterie boards are like this thing that has boomed in the past couple years or a few years, and I love them. Most people love them. Any type of boarding, as they say,
Yeah.
has been so popular. But do you really need that much money for cheese and chocolates and maybe some, grapes and honey or fig jam? You really don't. But what you do need is the fire. You need to create something so you could sell yourself, whether it's taking pictures of beautiful arrangements, whether it's getting ideas, going online, making your own. And you just really grow from there. So it's
Yeah.
finding something that you like. Maybe you do want to do something that you do need a little education for, such as like real estate or becoming a real estate agent. It's not a long-term investment of time to get your real estate license, your notary license. You can be, there's so many different things depending on what you like in order to invest your time in, if it's a necessity for what you love to do or what you want to love to do. So,
Yeah.
to, go back to the different steps, that's just one of my favorite chapters, just because it's direct. So it's like, okay, where do I cut to the chase? What do I have to do to be a millionaire? And it just gives you ideas. It does talk about owner finance business buying. It does talk about different things like that. Let's say you do have, let's say, a chunk of money saved up, 20, 30, 40 more $1,000, and you're like, I really want to buy a business. I want someone that's already established. What types of business are you going to look for? Why? How someone that's selling the business who might want to get out can help you. Maybe you can just pay them, give them a down payment and pay them on a month to month basis as you make money. A lot of naysayers in the world. I think it's a lot easy to look at someone and say, they'll never be able to do that, or they can't do this. And I think that I was the victim, I guess. I don't really like that word too much, but I definitely have heard that over and over. I always, from a very young age, I'm sure, as you might have seen in the book, that wanted to be an attorney. So for me, I always said that. I always wanted it and knew it from a young age, but it's easier said than done. And I know that I've had people that I've gone to high school with send me messages randomly, years, 10 years, 15 years after high school, saying, wow, you really did what you were going to say you were going to do. So it's really nice and refreshing that there are people that look back that are like, oh, wow, I remember you saying this, and you, in fact, brought that to fruition. And I think that it's a lot easier for people to speak down because they want to put you in a box, because maybe they don't have the courage. I mean, I think it was very difficult for me personally. I think it was something that I had to overcome, to move out of state in order to go to law school out of state without everything that I knew and all the people that I knew, to move, to the other side of the country
Yeah.
in order to get my education that I was required to do in order to be where I wanted to be. So I think that a lot of times it's easy for people to say, oh, yeah, good luck. She's never going to do that, or
Yeah.
she's never going to do this, or he or they or whatever.
Mhm.
But realistically, you have to just believe in yourself. And for me, if I told myself, when I was in law school, or even before I got to law school, that one day you're going to write a book, How to Become a Millionaire, and one day you're going to be a millionaire, and one day you're going to have 3 offices and have more than 20 people work for you, I would be like, yeah, right. How am I going to do that? And sometimes you surprise yourself, but the
Yeah.
first step is really saying, how bad do you want what you want? Trying to even know what you want, because if, I remember just the growth process and saying, okay, if I have 50,000 in the bank, I'm going to be happy and stable and secure in my lifestyle. that 50,000 would come and go. You know, my payroll is more than 200,000 a month. So, I mean, 50 is like nothing, but
Chrissy, you're just rocking it, girl.
you try, but the sky's the limit and God is good. And, for people that don't believe in God, whatever spirits or anything that you do believe in, ancestors that are there rooting for you in the sky or wherever they
Yeah,
are, it's just real. The reality is if you work hard, you will get what you want, but it's more importantly, work smart and
yeah.
get good mentors and ask the right questions and do your research, become a pro at what you want to be a pro at, and you can do it.
Well, in step 5, you talk about confidence, and that something key to that helps us, or is directly impacted by what we wear. And I was really like this, the the girl in me went, "Oh wow, that is just such a nice way to put it." And I think when we see Kamala going behind the podium and she's got her chucks on, I just sort of go, "Oh, that's my girl." I love her for that. But it's almost like we do make assessments based on what other people wear and then perhaps how we feel about ourselves and what we wear.
For sure. I think that a lot of times, for me, when I was younger, I know that my age, when I started my business, my law firm, a lot of times the way that you look is synonymous to whether you are good at what that profession that you're doing is. So
Mhm.
whether if you're a hairdresser and then you have like 4 inches of roots and you're not all put together, they're gonna be like, well, you're gonna touch my hair. So I think that not only, what the outside world is thinking, but also about yourself. What makes you feel good? If I
Yeah.
know there's plenty of times, that you don't feel the best in the morning with what you threw on and you're like, and some days you're like, wow, okay, this fits nice. I never even thought about putting this outfit together. And then you're like rocking it and having that extra little, speck of confidence can turn your whole day into like something that you didn't expect could even happen that day. So I
No,
think
it's
it
great.
really, your inner person and who you talk to at night and when you look in the mirror and, sometimes we're not the kindest to ourselves because we're our own worst critics. You have to think of the flip side of that. And you really need to push yourself and say, listen, if I don't even think good things about me and myself, why would the rest of the world who you need in order to be successful in business? Because you don't need yourself or else you wouldn't even have a business. You just,
Yeah.
pay yourself. But you need people to believe that you believe in yourself. And it comes with anything that makes you feel good. If you want a nice outfit, if you want a new haircut, if you want to grow your hair, if you want to wear a wig, any of that, you want new lip gloss, exactly. So I feel like step out of the norm, forget about what people think because for me, I always heard, the craziest things. And if I ever took it upon myself to really feel the weight of statements and things that were said about me or to me, you would never be successful. And that's
Yeah.
what it's meant
Mhm.
for. And usually the naysayers are not who are more successful than you.
Yeah.
More the people that are more successful, they're always the cheerleaders.
Mhm. Well, in step 6, you talk about being organized and that lady sharks will problem solve and fix. So what do you see there? I thought that was really good.
So I think one of my hardest things that I've overcome and on a day-to-day basis try to overcome is organization. For me, that's one of the hardest things because there's so many facets of my world, whether it's personal, business to business to business to business
Mhm.
to different offices of the same business. And it's hard to be organized and have everything neat and clean and in a certain place, but a messy mind never gives you anything good. Maybe some crazy good ideas, but you still want to regulate it and get yourself together and try. And you can't do everything yourself. I think that's another thing that I've learned along the way with the growth. Although you want to, and everyone says if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. But you also need people that are more educated than you or more educated in one
Mhm.
specific aspect of what you need. And you have to be conscious and aware and an expert in what you do, even if you're not an expert in that topic, whether it's accounting, bookkeeping, or things of that nature. You need help. So being organized is definitely key.
Yeah. I love what you say about self-respect. That was so nice. You say it isn't passive. We own our voice, stand up for what we believe, and be fully accountable for ourselves. Don't let anyone dim your light or silence your roar. Do you think this has anything to do with authenticity?
I think it has everything to do with it. I think that You have to own who you are, the good and the bad, and be able to accept yourself for who you are and make the changes that you want to make in order to be where you want to be. If you're not happy in any portion of your life, you have to be awareness and respecting where you are right now and where you want
Mhm.
to be and what you need to do in order to get there, and not just feeling bad for yourself or depressed about something or down on yourself or kicking yourself while you're down. None of that is going to help you rise above. So I think that the energies and the vibration, having a higher vibration and showing yourself respect. Listen, we are our hardest critic, and we need to own how far we have come as people. There's nothing easy in life. If life was so easy and becoming successful was so easy, there wouldn't be, the issues that we have in this world. So
Mhm.
I think that we all owe it to ourselves to give ourselves a hand, whether you're raising a family, whether you're just raising yourself, whether you're just paying your bills, whether you're just showing up to work every day, or even getting out of bed every day sometimes is hard. So you have to really respect where you're at in the part of the point in your life that you are, and don't compare yourself to others. Compare
Mhm.
yourself to yourself yesterday, and where you want to be tomorrow.
Mhm. So when you look at the steps, is there one in particular? I think you said step 8 really stood out to you, right? Is that
That
your
one's one of my favorites. It's direct and to the point, what I like to
yeah,
be.
because I think, you even talk about it, what it means to be rich.
Right.
And to your point before, is it that you see it as each of us has our own definition about what that might be and what success might be?
Totally,
Mhm.
exactly. I think that as I've aged, success and being rich is a totally different definition, and sometimes it changes by the day. I have two little girls that I'm raising, and I am rich in love. I'm so happy, and it's nothing to do with money, and it has really all to do with time and time freedom and really being able to not think about money. But
Mhm.
the reality is, financially, we've already where we are. If you're not a baby just being born and you're over the teenage years and you have your own bills, we've already set ourselves up for what our required finances are right now. So based on what you've accustomed your lifestyle to, you need to meet that, bare minimum in order to just, stay afloat for what your requirements are. So everyone's definition of success is their status quo, but it's where you see yourself. Who do you look up to? Why do you look up to them? Do you look up to someone that has all the free time in the world and no job and able to work from just, something that they love, cooking, baking, something, it really depends on where. If you're a free spirit, you want a hippie life. Okay, well, can you sustain, living off the grid? It's
Yeah.
all different what everyone's definition of success is, and being rich and being, in that state that you find yourself pure happiness.
Mhm. I love how you organize the book because you have kind of the workbook at the end. And um, I think one of the questions that you have us work on there is what's the story I want the world to know about me? And then, you know, when you look at that, what is it about your story that you want the world to know about you?
I think I talk a lot about my family in my book, meaning my parents and obviously my husband and my children as well. I think that I want the world to know that it's not all about luck, and I think that it's easy to assume someone that's successful is just lucky. And of course, I definitely consider myself lucky for where I am in my life, and I've had the right paths, and I haven't been taken off those paths by whatever reason. But I would love the world to really know that hard work is really the key to being where you want to be. I had a span of 10 years of my life that I was working 80 plus hours a week. So if you really think about that, that's what, double. So that's what,
Mhm.
20 years in reality that I've put in to be where I am. That people don't see that. They see the age, they see
Mhm.
how old you are and that you're successful and you're just lucky to be where you are. So for me, I try to put back into the world that, what, I have, had good karma, thank God, and I have had the right circumstances happen. But I've also really put in a lot of work, and I got married older than I wanted to in life because my head was down and I was focused,
Mhm.
and I really wanted to build something for the future and for my children to have stability and hopefully inherit one day.
Yeah. That was kind of my way too. I didn't have my first until I was 40, because I
Okay.
was head down in my career too, just trying to, just want to get to that level. And then,
Mhm.
but
But it's hard, but people judge, right? So they're saying, "Oh, well, oh my God, you're not married, you don't have children, why not?" And you don't realize that because you're building, you are sacrificing other things in life. And, whether it's having children at a young age, I think maybe we can both agree that I know that if I had children when I thought I wanted them when I was 20 years old, I would not have been able to give them the lifestyle that I am able to give them today.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
I still got energy. So I'm
Me
still doing
too.
it. So, and
I
it's nice
gotcha.
because I do have people that have what I thought I wanted when I was younger, which was having kids that are over 10, 12, 13 years old. And, my kids are 3, 1, and hopefully more are coming. So realistically, they still have everything that they want. I'm still a good mom, and I have more free time, whereas I would have never been able to either be as successful as I am or have had the free time to be able to spend with them when I want.
Yeah, I get that. Well, Chrissy, we've talked a lot about the different steps and your book. Is there anything else you want to tell our viewers and listeners about?
For sure. I definitely think that I just try to let everyone know that there's nothing that you want or you think you want to achieve that's not possible. The sky's not the limit. Even the impossible is possible with, a good plan and fire. So
Mhm.
I think that there's a lot that makes the world go round. And I think that a lot of unattainable, as people may think that they are, projects or solutions or destinations will be more attainable than really what they think if you really sit down, make a plan. I love the workbook. I know that we spoke about it a few minutes earlier, but really being aware. Just some people don't really even know how much they pay on a month-to-month basis, how much money their bills are in whole. They just wing it and just pay them as they come, as the statements come. If you really know how much money you need on a month-to-month basis, you then know what do you need to be making in order to be where you want to be. So I just want people to know that don't, let anything get you down on your pride in yourself, and that there is no end result. They say, it's not over till the fat lady sings. Well, it's never over unless you give up. So just keep going and don't give up. And if you want something, just go out and go get it.
Very cool. It makes me all, feel very hopeful that we can all be millionaires in our 30s.
Why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
So where can they get our listeners get the book and how can they follow you?
So, theladyshark.com is where my website is. My social media, I always answer DMs, questions, is Chrissy G Official, CHRISSYG Official. I'm more than happy to give any advice or answer any questions that people may have.
Mhm.
Amazon's an amazing place to get the book. Just type in Lady Shark, it comes right up. We're a bestseller in multiple categories. Any bookstore, if you go and asking them for it, they'll be able to provide it to you as well. So there's an array of different places, but I love Amazon. I'm an Amazon guru.
Me too. So I know you have been giving us good advice throughout this, but what advice would you give your 20 something self?
Yeah, this is a good question. I would definitely say to give myself some grace here. Like I said earlier, we're really hard on ourselves, and you always want more and more and more, and you always feel like failure is so imminent, and you don't always take a step while you're going through a process, to really take in how far you've come. And I think that the stress and the insomnia that I've experienced in my 20s, I would just take a breather and just tell myself that, you're doing fine, everything will be okay. Although you basically tell yourself that, not knowing that it will be. But in retrospect, I think I would have told myself to calm down, everything will work itself out. You'll make babies, you'll find the right person, you're going to find success, and whatever hard work you're putting in will come back.
Mm, beautifully said. Well, thank you so much, Chrissy, for joining us today. It was
Thank you
just
so
so
much for
great to
having
talk to
me.
you.
Yes, you too.
Thank you for listening today, and we sure hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a comment wherever you listen to your podcasts, tell a friend about us, or join our public Facebook group, Girl Take the Lead. We also have a YouTube channel where your subscription would be appreciated. Once you're on YouTube, search at Girl Take the Lead. And we've expanded to YouTube Music, where you can find a video of this episode. You can also check out our new store on our website, girltaketheleadpod.com/shop and plan to return to it as we update our products on an ongoing basis. Here are 3 takeaways from our episode. 1, naysayers can get in the way and keep us down. And the key is to believe in yourself. Sometimes you surprise yourself, and the sky is not the limit. 2, we do make assessments about what we wear and what others wear. It can reflect what we think about ourselves. We need people to believe we are capable. And naysayers are usually the people not as successful as us, and our cheerleaders usually are. 3, you'll find you'll need help, so it's important to find mentors who know more than us. We need to own who we are, the good and the bad, and acknowledge how far we've come. Also important is to avoid comparing ourselves to others. Only compare ourselves to where we want to be and where we are. And talk to you soon. Bye.